Hello movers. You know, usually when I upload a video, it's about either my review about a country or the hotel or some other experience. This is a different kind of video. You know what I realized? Regardless of how much you pack, how much things you double check, to how long you're on the road, chances are you would be making some form of blunder or the other. The only thing you hope and pray that it don't cost you much or you don't end in the hospital. So this video is about 2 blunders. I cannot give you guys all at one time. 2 blunders that I experienced while on the road. So let's go. The first one is of international proportion. Earlier this year, I flew into India. When I exit the plane, usually I would do is turn on my mobile Wi-Fi in order to start looking for things like taxi or whatever the case might be. I know Grab was in India or is in India, but for this time, it's showing that Grab isn't in India. I don't know what was going wrong with the Wi-Fi, whatever it is. I had to do something which I don't usually like to do, which is to change money in the airport. I went to the currency exchange unit and I had to because all the taxi services wants cash. Nobody wants a credit card. I had to go and get cash. I went to the currency exchange booth, go through the process. Just as I was leaving there, I hear like a ping on the phone when I see his Grab pop up saying where you would like to go. Suddenly it's available. So I decided that I will go with Grab instead because I have an account with Grab. And I prefer to use my credit card than that time paying with cash. Mind you, there was like 2 a.m. in the morning. Got in the taxi. It was a little drive, maybe like 20-25 minutes. Get to the hotel. Went into the hotel. Welcome, Miss Simon. Where is your passport? I looking all around. I check in this bag. I check even my carry-on bag with my computer. Everything I check in. Then this thing dawned on me. The last time you saw your passport was when you went to the currency exchange counter. And I told the girl at the desk, I said, I left my passport at the airport. There had 2 of them there in the boat watching at me like, what did you do? And I went into a panic because I'm thinking, if I lost my passport now, where is the nearest US embassy? How long would it take me to get a new passport? I had to call a taxi, but I asked them, I said, could you hold my bags? So they hold the bags. I just had my little purse over me and I had like, I think a credit card or something like that. Called the taxi came. When whilst researching, I asked them, I said, so which terminal I should go to? They said, oh, go to Arrival. Well, in the app, I put Arrival. When we reached the airport, the taxi driver said, I must pay him cash. I said, no, I'm supposed to be paying with a card. Somewhere in the whole distraught state with me, I think I indicate that I would be paying the driver cash. I would have able to pay him cash if I had the cash with me, but I left it at the hotel. So I told him, he was looking at me, I said, here, you see where you picked me up from. I told you was the situation, I have to go back for my passport. I said, would I try to rob you? I said, could you wait and take me back because I will have to go back to the hotel. Take me back to the hotel and then I will able to pay you. When I went in there, something about this place was looking different. It had like a dull look. While when I came out, there was a whole lot of people, had more stores open and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm saying to myself, something isn't right. I finally get someone who understood what I was saying, and he said, you're a domestic, you have to go over to international. Okay, I went back out, I got the taxi driver, he took me over to the international terminal. As I exit the car and start walking towards this terminal, well, I knew when I came out, they had a lot of security guards there and they weren't allowing people back in. So I'm preparing to go and plead my case so they will allow me to go back into the building. The minute I start approaching, you see everybody looking at me, all the security guards looking at me. And I'm thinking, the mob be wondering where she's going. She's not supposed to enter here. As I get near, one of them said, oh, you come back for your passport. Apparently, every security guard there, our security officer, knew that I left my passport. He said, you have to go to the currency exchange desk. And I walk in. Just as I walk in, the guy approached me. He said, Miss Simon, I realize you leave it. And I came out here, but you move very fast. I could not find you. So I went in there and I got my passport, went back to the car, and the driver took me back to the hotel. I was able to pay him. By the time I pay him, I maybe had just a few dollars remain. It wiped out the entire $20 because I had to pay him for 3 rides. I had to pay him to take me and bring me back, and then even the short ride from the domestic over to the international. I went in, was able to present my passport. They were so happy for me. They offered me something to eat. I went upstairs, got a shower, and like to me, the food was taking so long to come. I was about to fall asleep. When the doorbell rang, the food came, I ate, and then I went to sleep. I'm gonna be fall to sleep somewhere like 5:30 in the morning, and I slept most of the day. The next thing what happened, this happened recently. This is a blunder of a whole different kind. Again, when I was coming into India, like 3 weeks ago, the guy that was sitting next to me, as I was preparing the immigration form, declaration form of whether you're bringing money or whatever the case might be, he told me, he said, be careful. Remember, the format for the time is different. No, the format for the date is different than how we would in the US. He said, remember, they put the date before the month. While in the US, we put the month and then the date. He said, I made a mistake about 2 years ago, and I spent nearly 2 days in the airport. He said he had to get information from the US and all kind of thing. He said, because I had my birth date wrong. I said, okay. That went off me. Leave India, go to Malaysia. On my way from Malaysia to the Philippines here, I book a flight. I look at this thing and it said 2:20. It didn't say 2:20 a.m. or 2:20 p.m., but in Paula head was 2:20 p.m. I reached up at the airport very early. It was about like 10:30 in the morning. I'm hoping to check my bags. In fact, I checked online and they said the counter open 4 hours before time to leave on international flights. So I said, okay, this is good. Reaching there for 10:30. I'm going to check my bags in, go to the executive lounge because I was flying business class. On my way to the counter, I stopped at the information desk because here what happened. They do not have like designated counters based on the flight. It will move. Some other airline might be using the counter until it's ready for the airline that you are using. It's time for them to check in. So I go to information to find out which one of the counters to find the Filipino Airlines. The girl said, which flight you on? She said, there isn't any flight today at 2:20. They only have a flight at 11:30. She don't know what she's talking about. There is a flight at 2:20. I said, well, there's a flight for 2:20. She said, well, okay. She told me where to find the counter. When I went there, they had quite a few people there, and you look like they're sorting out stuff. One of the agents, she came out to me, and she said, it's rescheduled. She said, you're for the 11:30 flight? I said, no. Hey, she said, because the 11:30 flight, it's rescheduled until 5:30 because there's a tornado watch in the Philippines. She said, anyway, what we're doing, we're giving the passengers a food voucher, which they could use. She said, anyway, where is your passport? I gave her my passport. She took a while, then she come back, she said, Miss Simon, your flight was 2:20 a.m. this morning. I said, what? She said, yes. I said, I get this time all mixed. She said, your flight, it looked as a no-show. I'm telling you this, I was so mad with myself because a lot of things keep running through my head. One thing is that my stay in the Philippines, I had already went in and changed it to non-refundable because I had booked it initially to pay when I come in, or I only had one day before in which to cancel. About 4 days I went in because if you're paying upfront, that means the cost is lower than if you're waiting to pay later on. And when I'm certain about, yes, exactly, I'm going here, I get my flight, I goes in and change it. So I went in, non-refundable. I fly in the afternoon. Secondly, where am I going? I'm at the airport. Do I have to find now somewhere to stay? She said the flight that leaving at 5:30, I have to go and call reservation and see if I could get on the flight. I spent so much time at the airport trying to call the airline, and a lot of time, 3 times it happened, where when I call, I got you after waiting like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 35 minutes. Then the phone, in the midst of speaking to the agent, it cutting off. It was hell. Finally, I got someone, and I got someone by talking to them through Messenger. I wish if I had done that earlier, because the 4th time I attempt to call, they said the line is busy, I must call back. And I go research, how could I contact them? And I find Messenger. The girl said, Simon, there's no business class this afternoon, and we cannot downgrade you to economy. That means that you will have to buy a new ticket. I will have to have a chance of using part of that money from the first ticket, but then I have to pay some conversion fee, and all of these numbers sounding crazy. And then who knows, with all the conversion fees and all of that, the economy I might still have to pay more, because that business class, I got it very, very cheap. It maybe was like the same price for economy. Now you buying an economy ticket at the airport, you would be paying more. I'm thinking about my bags, because business class I had up to 40 clothes. This was only 20. All kind of thing going through my head. She said, but we can't downgrade you for the economy this afternoon. I said, when is the next business class? They don't have no business class the Tuesday. They only have business class on the Wednesday. That now, I'm thinking I have to find somewhere to stay for these 2 days. And I am so mad because I double checked. I thought I did everything right. I checked to see what's the requirement to come into the Philippines. It showed that I had to go to their website and sign up or download the app to my phone. I had to register everything, because if I go to the airport and not register, there's a whole lot of problem. I think I did everything right. And I kept looking at the reservation, and there's nowhere this thing dawned on me that is 2:20 a.m. and not p.m. I stick in my head at 2:20, and that was it. So now I'm looking all around. What am I going to do? I'm sitting at the airport. I wanted to go to the bathroom. I got the bags. I can't go to the bathroom with the bags. And then I remember something. On my way in, at the side of my eyes, I see Ibis Styles. This is part of a core hotel brand. I said, oh, they have an Ibis here? Not knowing about 2.5 hours, that information is going to come in handy. I'm a member of the group, and I first found Ibis in New Zealand when they had a problem with the aircraft. We had to stay overnight, but they supply us with the hotel. But they took me to Ibis, and this is the first time I heard of the brand. And afterwards, I joined and a member. Over the years, I might have used them once or twice, something like that. Anyway, I went online, and then I saw the Ibis, and they were like $30-something US a night, which I was very suspicious of. It's very cheap. So in my head, I say, if you're paying a little bit of money, chances are you might be going in a slight dump. But I have 2 nights, got to suck it up. I did not want any other hotel that is far away from the airport to deal with the traffic. They mean I had to get up early. All the other hotels was very, very expensive. And then I'm thinking in the back of my head, I have to call the Vietnam Holiday Inn here in the Philippines to make sure that they do not cancel my reservation, because I would not be turning up at the first night, and this is what they usually do. Try sending them email. The people responded to me, I did not even know. I finally get to call IG to patch me into the hotel, and I told them, I said, okay, I make a mistake with the timing. And the next flight I will be able to come in is on Wednesday the 19th. They said, please do not cancel my reservation because I still need to stay. They said, okay, Miss Simon, we're going to adjust it. God is so good. They did not. They adjusted from the 17th to the 19th, so I didn't have to pay for those 2 nights. And with taxi, because I took a taxi to the base not knowing that the people had a shuttle service. With the taxi and the cost of the hotel, it still came out cheaper than the 2 nights. So financially, it wasn't a hit for me. The taxi came, take me to the base. So the driver said, oh, that hotel is a new hotel. It's a new hotel. Because the hotel sign looking so old and raggedy, you would not believe it's a new hotel. He said, yes, I think they opened about a year. When he drove up into the driveway, into this is a beautiful building. On the left side, I see this big infinity pool. I started thinking about Robin and Miss Tony. They would have been having a fun time out there in the pool. And I walk and this place is beautiful. It smells good. The staff is nice. And the whole setup is different. You go into this big building, then your rooms is off. It's like in little apartments around the place. I went to some of Ibis hotels. I went to Ibis Plus. I never went to Style. So I really truly can't tell if that is the style of an Ibis style or this is just how they do it in Malaysia. The whole setup, the room, everything is great. So look at it this way. It was a blunder, yes, but I could say it fell on my nerves. Financially, it did not hurt. Most importantly, I get an opportunity to see a new place and I have the information in my back pocket. If any time I need to go into Malaysia late and I just want a hotel that is near to the airport or I have an early flight in the morning, that is the perfect thing. So that's it. I would not be making any more blunder with the time. When I'm away from the US, anywhere else, I will be double checking. And if it meant, and you know what I call Philippine Airlines and ask them another question about something. As I'm saying, that time thing never crossed my head. That would not happen again. Even with my passport, no, I'm double checking. I would never make that mistake again. But the passport one really took me for one because I was scared of losing it. Anyway, if this video or any of the other videos on this channel is of interest to you, please share. And you know what? We have space. Why not be part of the team? Subscribe, turn on your notification button so YouTube will let you know when a new video is uploaded. And a little warning to you, not only that you should know where your passport is, what it is valid, how much blank pages, you also need to make sure that as you travel, you have your passport with you and you would not leave it at the airport. So this is the 2 blunders. I have a whole lot of other ones. I'll share it some other time. Take care. Have a fantastic day. Bye.